Hi, IPO enthusiasts, and welcome to day 2 of our IPO Fortune Symposium. Today, I'll discuss some of the greatest IPOs of all time and the golden thread connecting them. Plus, a peek into the strategy Paul Mampilly, Hudson Cashton, and I have worked tirelessly to complete and pull together over the last several months. So our strategy has shaped up into a comprehensive 25-point system. At the heart of our IPO strategy is Paul's tried and true GoingUpness system. This is the system he's used to deliver consistent triple-digit gains for his readers, and which he's refined to identify and time the IPO plays set to skyrocket for fast triple-digit gains again and again. The key to this GoingUpness system is supply and demand, which is more important in IPOs than any other investment. So we look first at supply using a metric called float. Float is the number of shares coming public versus the total number of shares outstanding. When I started my research, Paul told me that he had noticed an uncanny correlation between float and IPO success. He told me that companies opening up 20% or less of their shares to the public produced the greatest gains. He asked me to pull the numbers, and frankly, I was astounded. Paul's prediction was dead on. Incredibly, my study results showed that if a trader selects IPOs with the float less than or equal to 20% at the time of IPO, they realize gains up to 6 times better than those picking stocks with the float over 20%. And you can easily check the float for yourselves on any upcoming IPO. Simply look at the number of shares outstanding, which you can find at finance.yahoo.com under their statistic tab, and the number of shares going public. Divide the latter by the former, and you have the float. This is a great supply indicator, and it makes sense. You can imagine if a company really is poised to make investors rich, doesn't it make sense that the insiders will be stingy with their shares? Yes. They want to raise capital for growth, but they also want to hold on to some amount of their pre-IPO investment. So you see, this kind of insider holding with certain IPOs versus early investors trying to get rich at IPO by dumping all their shares on the market, it's an entirely different situation. We see investors holding on to 80% or more of the shares as a major vote of confidence in the future of a company. So in this way, the supply to the market also indicates the demand from insiders to continue holding shares. So there are a number of factors that we look at when determining demand for and from the broader market, which we'll get to later in the series, so stay tuned. But what I can tell you is right now, at this very moment, there is more demand coming into the IPO markets than we've seen since 1999. Now, before you compare today to 1999, let me assure you that this market is an entirely different animal. 1999's internet boom and subsequent bust represented the very beginning of innovations that would change our world. And many companies came to the market promising big ideas delivered online. And there are thinkers out there, but the technology and experience had not caught up with their vision. The pets.com of 1999 looks entirely different from today's chewy.com. Today, unicorns are going public. Private companies valued at $1 billion or more. These businesses could stay private and keep making insiders rich, but these mega private companies are so growth focused, they're opening small amounts of their shares to the public. These are the Amazons and eBays of 1999. Growth at all cost, focus on profit later. These are the kinds of companies building the future. So what made Amazon, Netflix, and eBay go up 129,000%, 35,000%, and 11,000%? One word: innovation. Amazon used the internet to disrupt retail, from booksellers early on to the Walmarts of the world to now even grocery shopping and moving further into our lives. Amazon's latest move is Alexa Conversations. I saw a demonstration of this new technology in which a woman was able to talk to Amazon's voice recognition device, Alexa, in full sentences. In 1 minute's time, she bought movie tickets, made dinner reservations, and booked an Uber ride. So we live in an era of incredible innovations, and due to perfect market conditions, low interest rates, strong economy, and a hunger in the market for tech-forward companies, 2019 marks the very beginning of a new era for the greatest innovators to come public. So stay tuned. Every day this week, we'll be sharing companies leading this year's IPO revolution and the key metrics that you can use to get your piece of what we know will be the greatest IPO market in history. As the Wall Street Journal reports, quote, "The IPO millionaires are coming, and we want our readers to be in on this incredible opportunity." Thank you for joining me, and talk soon.